Afternoon YouTube, Skipper T here. Today we're going to start off on a new adventure. We are going to get into the world of blacksmithing. And today we are going to put together a forge. We're going to start with a 17.5-inch grill that I got from Walmart for like $19. Going to use a brake drum as our fire pit. After I put this together, I'm going to cut a hole in the bottom of it. I'll drop down the brake drum inside. When I bought the brake drum, I got one that had a 4-inch hole in it instead of a 2-inch axle hole. So that doesn't really work too well with your basic 2-inch pipe that I'm going to use for putting the plumbing underneath together to get the air up into the coals to make the fire hot. So what I ended up having to do was go to a friend of mine named Lou's got a metal shop, and so he cut me out a round piece of plate, put a 2-inch hole in the center. That sits perfectly down inside my brake drum, and will allow me then to bolt this flange to that, so that then I can put these pieces of pipe together, and from there I'll be able to put the bottom part of this together. Now this will come out of the bottom of the grill. The T will go on it here like so. Out from the T then, I'll have this other extension piece. I'll put a one-way flapper valve on that extension, something like that. It'll come out of the T, and then from there I'll be able to put a hairdryer in there and create the flow of air that I need to keep the coals hot enough to do the blacksmithing. I'll put a piece of expanded metal over the opening on the inside just to keep the coals and the bigger clinkers and things like that from dropping down. Under that T, I'll put this small piece under it, and that small piece will have a cap on it like this, which will just fit right up in there. That way I won't be catching anything underneath of the forge or the grill forge, however you want to term it. Nothing will be caught on fire. And then again, this will just screw together like so. This piece will come on here. The bottom piece will attach into the bottom, much like this. This cap will just sit on there, like I said, to keep the coals, the clinkers, things from coming down. This piece will just screw into the side in a fashion such as this. Then the one-way flapper valve with the hose clamps on here, I'll just be able to set that over the end, tighten down the clamp, and because it's made out of rubber, the hairdryer will fit just in here snugly, and we won't have to do a whole lot to that. And then this part will be hanging out of the bottom of the little grill that I've got here. And hopefully within pretty short order, I'll have a functioning, no kidding, forge for blacksmithing purposes. I did buy an anvil the other day. Found one at a consignment store, used shop, junk store, antique store, whatever you want to call it. So I went ahead and picked it up. And once we get everything put together and we get our first fire built in this, then we'll get that out. I've got some rebar and a big hammer, so we'll see if we can change a round piece of metal into something square and longer, and well, we'll just see where we go from there. So I'm going to get the grill built and put together, and show you what that looks like when I'm done, and then bit by bit I'll show you how we get this all assembled. So stay with me, guys, as we start a new adventure. Thanks. We got the grill put together. Excuse the camera shake here. And this is my hand down at my side. This is like a Barbie grill set. That's why it's $19, because it's, I mean, even with the lid closed, if I'm standing straight up, it's about an inch or so below my hand. But that's okay, because that's all we've got to do is find a way to mount this particular brake drum down inside. Now it's going to hang down approximately, looks to me to be about 3 inches, and this will bolt onto that, this section here. Let me step this back so you guys might be able to see that. So if it hangs down approximately 3 inches, that's going to be just about perfect. Heck, if it even rests on there, that's going to be just fine for what it is that we're getting done today. Hi, Jack. Hi, Marina. Come on, kids. There's no thunderstorms out here right now. So, and then of course that's going to shorten up a little bit once I get everything tightened up and twisted in the way it should be. So anyway, next thing I've got to do now, that fits barely, heavy, is I'm going to have to center the brake drum inside the grill here. And then from there, I think I'm just going to take a Sharpie, maybe a nail or something, scrape around it. Once I've got that circle, I'll take a jigsaw, cut a hole, and then that whole plate should drop down inside there. So once I get that accomplished, I'll show you how it turns out. Stay with me. Hi, pal. Hi, little girl. All right, YouTube, there it is. My 2.5 foot tall Barbie grill turned forge. As you can see, I got it assembled. I was able to cut the ring out in the bottom of the pan itself. The brake drum has dropped in there nicely. I had to put another spacer in here, this piece here, so that the flange, and I'll show you that on the bottom, would screw onto something because the opening in the brake drum was too big. A little bit of expansion metal there to hold the coal and charcoal in. Sits flush down in there. I may have to cut out a side piece here so that I can lay pieces of metal in there flat, maybe off of the front here. I haven't decided. There's my one-way flapper valve so that we can hook the air dryer up to it. 3-inch piece on the bottom with the caps that collect dirt and dust and clinkers and such. The T goes right on up. And I'm hoping there's enough light you guys can see where the bottom of that brake drum has just been cut. And it's coming right out of the bottom of I opened up the bottom of the grill, set that in there. There's that flange. There it is. And it just comes right down to the T. Boy, I tell you what, that couldn't have been any smaller and we'd have had success. I'd have to go buy another grill. But, and as I said, I called it my Barbie. I'll go stand next to it and show you how small this thing is. Stay with me. God, if I get the grill in the picture, and for me to be tall enough to stand up, maybe something about like this, man, I've got to step back quite a ways. Like I said, this is my little Barbie grill. I don't know what else to call it, fellas. But it's small, it's short like that. But hey, it was 19 bucks, so who cares if it burns up, falls over, does whatever. But it's big enough with that 17, 18, it's probably 22 inches wide. Actually, 17.5 inches square. But it's going to hold that brake drum. It's going to allow me to put the coal in there. As you can see, I'm going to be able to put my hair dryer down there, get some heat up into that. And even though I'll have to come over and bend over just a little bit to heat up my metal for my first forge, I'm not complaining. You know, will I update things? Who knows? At this point, I don't even know if I can blacksmith. But I'm going to give it a shot. This is it. Got my forge set up. Seen that? I picked up this anvil last weekend. Oh, she's a 100-pounder. It's not as big as a lot of them that are out there, but I think it's going to do just fine. It's got the horn on it. It's got the little base plate right here. Can't remember what you call that. It's got a 1-inch hardy hole back here, and it's got the Pritchard hole back here on the other side. So actually it sounds like a pretty good anvil when you hit it. It's got that good ping sound to it, which is what we're looking for. We don't want that pot metal thud to go with it. We want that good ping, and this one seems to have it. It's seen some use. The top's not terribly flat anymore. It's got a little bit of a divot right here in the center, and you can see some tooling marks on it. But hey, for my beginning purposes and for the price that I paid for this, which I have to admit I got for a steal, compared to what I see these things go for on the internet currently, I tell you what, I think I did really well. Again, oh, that dude's heavy as can be. But there's my anvil, there's my Barbie grill with my forge down inside. Now that that's all done and the sun's going down, I think I'm going to go get some dinner We'll call this a video for today. Tomorrow, if it's not raining, we'll fire it up and we'll see if we can turn some round pieces of metal into some square ones. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you outside. Have a great day.